Lincoln's birthday's coming up. Abraham Lincoln reads Shakespeare, loves apples. Montauk Solar Pop Portrait, number 29. His legs are a banged up basket. His legs are a tattered seine. His legs are a fox sniffing the rack, where Stephen, in his loamings, sees 3 swordfish above and apart from their brethren in the Gulf Stream, basking in Block Island Sound, in the shallows off Shagwam. In Petersburg, Southern soldiers drowned in the initial crater blast. In Petersburg, Northern soldiers drowned in the bungled, followed-up attack. In Petersburg, Stephen Farrow stepped in clover. He lived out both battle and war to return to the land he belongs to, a land he needs to feel the certainty that he is alive, which is more than knowing life is potent, the joy of being spared. Valentine's Day in that area. A pink incision of roses. Niagara Falls. She was a woman I followed into a desert forest. Niagara Falls. She was a wishing well on the edge of a desert. Niagara Falls. She was a blonde bee on the Hempstead Prairie. She was a wigwam of bees. She was barbed wire between the change of seasons. She was a thin black trail of nocturnal caterpillars on the shoot of a Maywood fruit tree. She was a morning cloak butterfly. She had indigo wings with blue dots and yellow margins. She had complicated eyes. Charlene, your hands are grape leaves, your fingers break bread. Charlene, no longer an alewife, no longer a victim of your middle passage. You wash the feet of a liar, a bum, a drug gang dragoon. You wash the feet of a crackhead. You wash the feet of a blind fish in the vaulted cave of your story. Charlene, your God is love, and love never minds. Love is an old pond, old crane, old frog without straight lines. Old pond, old crane, big ass frogs. I should use, instead of using the bird here, I should use cockapoo. Yeah. But we're not going to use cockapoo. I could. Let's do it. Do-over of an anonymous 15th century poem, which it is. I have a gentle cockapoo, an early bird. He's up before the crack of dawn to stretch his wings. A robust bird of lofty lineage. A Rockefeller lost dauphin, a Plymouth Rock. A healthy, handsome cockapoo. His comb is red, his tail is Burmese black, with bars of gray and white. A gentle bird, an ark of peace and love. He lies with dogs, he sleeps with pigs, awakes with doves. Sometimes I use characters, which are topics. I have haiku wino. I skipped a couple, but I want to read this one. Soup Kitchen Christmas, haiku wino, exchanges wishbones. Thank you. And snail. I'm a landscaper, so I'm kind of into insects and snails. When I was young, it was lions, tigers, and bears. And then the world got smaller, but it was kind of cool. It's like I discovered a whole nother world out there. Snail, never homeless. Scholar in his garden, snail in his eyeball case. And I've been doing these for a long time. They're one-liners. They're called the retiree. So, and I'm just throwing ideas out there because sometimes it's just a way to write. Like I can always write on the retiree. I can always have a one-liner. I can always have haiku poet, haiku wino. So this has kept me going sometimes in dry periods. The retiree on the new barkeep. If only bubblegum could talk. The retiree on being called a reactionary. Merry Christmas. The retiree's advice to a young man after recent snow. City girls don't shovel. Spring snow, burying a starved raven in Buddha's rice bowl. These last few poems, I've been doing a series. I do a lot of series writing. I could say a lot of good things about doing series. Some people don't like the idea. They think that the poems aren't as independent. But does anybody have one good thing to say about a series? Because there is one main thing. Give it a guess. You always have a title. You just add a number. So, we have Montauk Solar Pop Portrait #2. This is the beginning. I was trying to include Venus, Venus on the beach, Venus coming out of the water, and birds and bees. So they were kind of fundamental poems. Photographic apartheid, a black and white, a watertight woman, a personal treasure, kneeling in the bay salt, owning her own honor and hunger, holding the attention of every cameraman on the shore. And another partial, another piss test for the imagination, a figure-red woman sequestered on the seaside of an ancient shard, with red beaches, red birds, red bees, with white wavelets rolled around her knees. And then later on, this series like developed, because they always develop into something else. All of a sudden, I was into Indian history on Long Island, etc. The geology, I sort of knew a little bit. But we'll see where it goes. It becomes something else. Montauk Solar Pop Portrait #19. Montauk, the end. Land's End, where the sky miles shovel ice ground to a halt, where all that is left of the ancient glacial geography is rising ocean and riding cliffs, where the War Department secreted big 16-inch naval guns within Camp Hero, where it is rumored the Montauk Project opened a wormhole to the blue lizard planets, where we ogled their saurian science, and they ogled our entomological plentitude. Terminal Moraine and Alamo Ocean, where it is rumored Zeus tossed his father's manhood into the deep, where it is also rumored Venus came out of the water, fully erect, steady on her feet, hardly drunk at all. A salt-tolerant woman, a Parthenon of silken tents. With one foot in the sea foam and the other already ashore, body altar, orange eye pop, sweet hollow end of a straw. This poem sort of says something about Stephen Farrow. Farrow, he worked for Barnum for a while, but he was supposed to be a renowned walker. This is #28. Sideshow, tattle talk, painted feather, pitch and puff. In a Barnum transparency, painted 7 feet tall by 3.5 wide, Stephen Talkhouse Farrow is labeled last king of the Montauks. And because Stephen is neither last nor king, this halo of humbug clouds the claim he walked from East Hampton's Freetown to to the Brooklyn city limits and back in a single day. Yet if anyone could do it, he could do it. His legs are brown ospreys ascending over Tobacco Bay. His legs are mayflies on Fresh Pond Creek, where the water smokes with blue-winged olives that get more done in a few hours than the rest of us take a steam age to do. His legs are a bow he removes from a blanket. His legs are a bullseye where otherwise there are none. It looks like a final poem. This is number 20 of that series. Montauk, the cottontail pipe bumper sticker end, the end of an ice age and the beginning of a warming trend, the beginning of a dry, windy, dusty, soil-building Great Lake trend, a Great Plains, great eastern forests with native pigeons and gigantic flocks trend. Millions of birds spent down to a lone, wild, single female, now known as Buttons. A young Ohioan, Press Clay Southworth, sighted on March 24, 1900, while feeding cows and summarily shot. Luckily, his father knew the bird was worth saving. Mrs. Clay Barnes, the taxidermist, used what she had on hand, shoe buttons for eyes. From Turtle Hill Plateau, surf, rocks, strand are no longer just simply themselves. Even the girl emerging from sea foam is not the woman the artist is painting. The woman, Charlene, is dead. At Charlene's memorial service, the artist had no words. Now, weeks later, he is painting a woman larger than life coming out of ocean. Her eyes are blue buttons, her hands young as ever.
Edgar Carlson. Yeah, man.